In this video, we're going to talk about how to be productive differently and in a healthier way. For years, in a busy job in Dublin City in Ireland, I had a system of productivity worked out around living in my own space and working in a 9-to-5 office job. Then I moved home to rural Ireland in April 2020 at the beginning of the global health crisis. I'm still here and I love it. With the upheaval of the life I knew, I've had to reassess what productivity really means, in reality as well as theoretically. I've had to try out new and different systems and approaches. Some stick, some don't, some need tweaking and some are awful and need to be ditched immediately, and I'm still experimenting. For some time now I've thought about productivity through the principles of yin and yang, an ancient Chinese philosophy that describes how opposite or contradictory forces are interdependent in the natural world of matter and duality in which we exist. Neither yin nor yang can exist alone. They're necessary for each other to exist. One of the ways yin and yang is manifested into form is in receptivity or passivity, and its opposite form, action or activity. Productivity can easily be applied to the form of action or activity, or the yang form of expression. Yin, or receptivity or passivity, is the opposite form of expression to this. Receptivity or passivity or yin, therefore, is the opposite of productivity. In our pursuit of money, often for very good and healthy reasons like security and freedom, there is a lot of value placed on the active, productive form of expression. So it's easy to consider being non-productive as being of less value. But that way of thinking also unfortunately means devaluing yin. Beautiful, balancing, sometimes intuitive yin expressions of being are in danger of being used with an agenda as a sort of currency and, sadly, as secondary, less important or maybe even necessary evils in pursuit of something more valuable. I see more and more rest and play and sleep used like this, scheduled as a tool for productivity. In reality, though, through the principles of yin and yang being necessary for each other to exist, these passive and receptive yin forms of expressions are not a tool to enable something better. They're as important as the productivity or the yang form of expression. Remember, each are necessary for each opposite other to exist. They can't exist alone. So while it's essential to schedule rest and play into daily life, my view is that it's so important to remember they are in and of themselves hugely important. They are as important as anything else without having the agenda of getting other stuff done. Rest and play are valuable in their own right, not as a mechanism to do more stuff and produce more stuff and be more efficient in a system of stuff. They are as important as doing. Imagine a life like that, just as important, for no reason at all. Through my experiments and successes and failures over the last couple of years, I have a few elements of systems that I have found to work well and make me productive, and that also feel balanced and healthy. I've learned to work with the seasons more. I won't even bother trying to sort those decades-old photos during the summer season when days are long and the sun is shining. That's a job for a long winter's night by the fire. I don't really remember noticing the seasons having so much of an impact on me when I lived in the city. I would notice them. I would change the clothes I wore each season, and the length of the days and the temperature outside made a big difference to the long drives home. But it seemed more adjacent. Now, seasons are something I'm more engaged with and I find myself responding to more. Like the seasons, I've learned to work with the weather. Weather changes, plans change. It can be frustrating sometimes, but I know I will get the chance to do that thing I want to do. I pick the next thing on the list of things to do that I feel like doing and that suits the rain or the sunshine. I work with the moon, and I'm learning to do this more. This, I think, is a hidden gem. Tracking myself and the moon and looking for patterns is so interesting. It doesn't matter what age you are and where your cycle is at, the moon cycles still affect us as women. I'll go deeper into this in another video. Imagine a life if you measured your day on how valuable it has been based on when you've been productive and when you've been restful or had fun, and gave both their due respect and time with no regret or guilt at all. Talk about a reframe. And speaking of reframes, it's also important to remember that seasons are not only in every year, but in every life. There are busy periods when yang expression is more prevalent and you don't get to rest as much as other periods. Because if you want something, that is, if you actually know what you want, and no judgment if you don't, and you need to work hard for a while to get it, sometimes you just need to go for it and not apologise to anyone. It would be such a shame to make taking enough rest and doing enough nothing another stick to beat yourself with. As women, we all have enough of these. If you want to hear more about why so many women feel life is passing by and how to fix that, click here. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time and attention.